I always tell everybody, I don't go in there looking for the knockout. I go looking for the win. But if he get out of line, he's going to be the next one down.
Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup.
It's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence is because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents.
During a tense press meeting, Terence Crawford hits Canelo hard. He makes it clear that he always wants to win in the ring, but he warns Canelo that things could get personal if he crosses the line or acts rudely. Crawford's angry words show how dedicated and driven he is, and they also show that he is mentally and physically ready for the battle, making it clear that he is sure of himself.
You a there is stuff. You a see you a you a hold talking to let Aaron you a because you keep talking like you doing all that talking. That's how you doing all that talking. You can't be always talking. I come back. You don't talk, and you talking too much. This you want some attention. Some eye contact right here. This is gonna be legendary. Right here. Female ass. See y'all tuning in. This is a legendary old school fight. Get out. Some attention. Put the camera on him because that's what he's doing. Showing out like a female. Let him finish, bud. Go ahead, EJ. Yeah, all right.
According to Greg Hackett, Terence Crawford has what it takes to beat Canelo Alvarez because he is bold both inside and outside the ring. Hackett says that Crawford goes into fights without fear or hesitation, which makes him stand out in a class where many opponents are afraid to face a strong fighter like Canelo. Hackett says that Crawford's faith in himself comes from years of hard work, success, and adaptability, not from being cocky. Crawford brings his confidence to every fight because he thinks it is the most powerful tool a fighter can have. Canelo is considered one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, so Crawford will need to be very mentally tough to beat him. According to Hackett, Hackett doesn't see Crawford's fight as a challenge, but as another chance to show that he can do well under pressure.
Canelo, they taking Crawford. You got people that was taking Crawford, they taking Canelo.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
It should be that way because we talking about a great fight here. We talking about two great athletes. So when it's like this, it's better for the betting. You know what I mean? All the people that like to bet, it's better for them. You know what I mean? Because nobody knows where the money gonna land. The reason I have so much confidence in this fight, you know, thinking that it's going to be a great fight. The reason I have so much confidence because I really believe that Bud Crawford doesn't fear Canelo Alvarez. A lot of his opponents in the past were nervous, scared from the beginning. I don't think Bud feel that way at all. I think we're going to get a good rumble on our hands. You know what I mean? It's just going to come down to the big question for Bud is, can he take the shot? You know what I'm saying? The question, I think, for Canelo is, does he get old? I say that for a reason. He got a lot of fights, bro. He got, I think he going on almost 70 fights. You know what I'm saying? Or he a little bit under 70. That's a lot of fights for current time. You know what I'm saying? And Bud got a lot of gas still left, but he's older as well. You know what I mean? A lot of people would like to give him shit for not being able to take a shot, or not that he didn't take the shot, but getting buzzed with some shots at lower weight classes. So it's like, how can he handle himself at 168 pounds? But you have to understand the physical to understand how. You know what I mean? I'm not about to get into all of that, but you know what I mean? I do understand he will be a lot more sturdy at 68. I mean, if you smart, you've seen it at 47 versus Earl Spence. You know?
Adam Smith, a famous boxing analyst, thinks that the possible fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez would be a huge step up for Crawford, but one that he could win. Smith says that Crawford has one of the highest fighting IQs, which lets him quickly learn his opponent's rhythm and expertly take advantage of flaws. Another good thing about him is that he is quick, because Canelo's defensive plan sometimes leaves holes that a quick and smart fighter like Crawford can use. Smith thinks that the fight will be decided by points, with Crawford's ability to outsmart and outfight Canelo over 12 rounds being the final factor. He thinks it was one of the most exciting fights he's seen recently, with both guys pushing each other to the edge of their minds and bodies, because boxing rewards skill, strategy, and understanding, Smith thinks Crawford might win on points.
September the 13th, it's billed as fight of the century. I do feel as though this one, for such an unbelievably good fight, the prospect of, it has gone under the radar a bit. We've spoken more about fights that are not even.
Remember Eubank Ben? I mean, how much you spoke about?
Oh,
that?
I love that fight. Though.
Yeah, but compared to these two guys,
yeah, that's
but that's in Britain. That's prime time here. It's the football casuals. I think the problem with this fight is it is just a fabulous boxing matchup and one with all sorts of curiosity between two superstars. The Ring magazine's dedicated the entire magazine, but this is boxing. It's hardcore boxing. I think Canelo is known. I think Canelo, obviously the Mexican machismo that holds all the super middleweight titles, nearly 70-odd fights. He's been phenomenal. I think he's 35 now. But for Terence Crawford, he has definitely gone under the radar. 4-weight world champion, 41-0, 31 knockouts. A southpaw who's got IQ and speed and craft. I think it's a fabulously interesting matchup, the two of them, because you've got the big guy, the strong super middleweight, really, really cultured, wonderful fighter in Canelo. But is he just slightly, ever so slightly, fine margins past his peak? And you've got Crawford, who needs this fight as his coming out party. The big news, it's on Netflix, so he'll get the attention. Can Crawford do it? It's a huge step again in weights, but I think he's got the speed, and I think he's got the know-how, I'm sure we'll talk about it more next week, to cause problems for Canelo, and I think that he could win it on points.
Oladipo is more negative about the fight. He says that even though it has gotten a lot of attention, it doesn't have the same level of energy as other recent high-profile fights like Alexander Usyk versus Daniel Dubois. Oladipo says that Crawford versus Canelo isn't as exciting or competitive. This is partly because of the weight difference and the fact that most people expect Canelo to win. He thinks that Crawford versus Canelo is less balanced than Usyk versus Dubois, which was a matchup of very different styles and real volatility. He thinks that the hype around the fight is more important than the real fighting itself.
Like, you know, it's been billed as the biggest fight of the century. Some are saying the biggest fight of all time. Let's calm down, people. Let's breathe a little bit. It's a big fight. But it doesn't quite feel like those things. It doesn't feel like the biggest fight of the century. Like, this doesn't feel like, and maybe because I work these events, so it's slightly different, but this doesn't feel like Usyk Fury, for example. It doesn't feel like that at all. That felt like, oh my God, this is going to happen. Undisputed heavyweight title fight. Remember, this is an undisputed super middleweight title fight. It just feels a bit lacking of something. Like, I can't believe that Max Kellerman is now part of this. And again, for nostalgia, we haven't got a Max Kellerman face-off. Like, how Canelo speaks great English now. How we haven't got that? Just to kind of give it a bit of spice, because Canelo, with his English, it's like he's only learnt the bad words. He does chat a lot of shit. So I almost felt like we should have done that. Maybe because it's on Netflix, it hasn't got a bit of a push from ESPN. Obviously, there's no DAZN stuff, obviously, because DAZN are not covering it. I feel like it's lacking something. Like, and maybe because both of them don't trash talk either. Because when I think of the biggest fights of the last sort of 15, 20 years, you've always had one side of the fight, or one side is a big trash talker. In some instances, two. The biggest fights, again, Usyk Fury. Fury was happy to do all the trash talking. Sold it. Event went massive. Mayweather Pacquiao. Mayweather is happy to do all that, right? Mayweather McGregor. Hence why that went just colossal, because you got two of the biggest trash talkers ever doing it. This time, Canelo ain't saying anything. Crawford ain't saying anything. Feels a bit flat. Feels a little bit flat.
Promoters have done everything they can think of to make Crawford vs Canelo a culture event, advertising it as the biggest fight of the century. They have gotten people all over the world interested in boxing, not just the sport's usual fans. Netflix's coverage, behind-the-scenes video, and access to the event have made it seem bigger than life, which has added to the buzz. Documentaries, interviews, and press conferences have been used to get families who might not usually watch boxing to watch the fight. In terms of energy, this marketing plan goes beyond the line between sports and entertainment, coming close to the biggest crossover events in history.
I'm holding you to the standard you said. They're tagging this the fight of the century, colossal, super fight, Netflix, Dana White, right? So now we got to look at it. You can't tell me something. See, I'm not the type of person where you could pee on my leg and tell me it's raining. If that's you and you're going to let somebody urinate on your leg and tell you it's raining, that's on you. But I don't do that. I'm a critical thinker, and I'm not just going to listen to what you tell me and see if the facts don't support that, right? So if this is the fight of the century, let's look at it. Boxing tickets, Canelo versus Crawford, right? Since August 29th, tickets listed, $2,566 value, $7 million plus worth of tickets. Hey, bro, $7 million worth of tickets.
Veteran expert Al Bernstein gives an honest review, saying that this wasn't the fight that boxing fans had been waiting for, even though there was a lot of advertising for it. He said that people didn't really want Crawford to fight Canelo because they would rather see Crawford fight other big names in his natural division or Canelo fight fighters who were closer to his weight. Bernstein says that the competition looks good on paper, but it doesn't have the natural rivalry or plot that makes a fight an exciting event that everyone must see. He also says that the marketing has succeeded in getting more people to know about the fight, but core boxing fans are still not as excited about it as they were about previous big fights. A common complaint is that the fight is more of a marketing stunt than a reaction to real fan demand. Bernstein's preview focuses on this point.
To have these two level of fighters meet, where does this rank at?
I think it's one of those fights that, the interesting thing is, it wasn't as if every boxing fan said, boy, I can't wait to see Canelo fight Terence Crawford. In other words, it wasn't one of those fights. Like, there were more boxing fans that said, gee, I'd like to see Canelo fight David Benavidez. But having said that, I mean, among the hardcore boxing fans. Having said that, what they did, and this happens sometimes in boxing, they come up with a matchup that wasn't on everybody's mind, but kind of makes sense. And the proof is in the pudding. If you do one of those kind of matches and the interest is not there, you're going to find that out.
For sure.
In this case, obviously the interest was there because they've sold. I mean, I went online and looked at the ticket sales and everything, and they've sold. It looks like they've already sold 40,000 seats.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I believe
there's
they'll
not
sell
that
it
many
out.
left. In Allegiant Stadium. So that alone is an indicator. The amount of attention and coverage the fight has gotten, and this is one of those fights that will also have a good barometer as we get closer to the fight. How much is the mainstream sports media covering the fight?
Yeah.
You know, it used to be in the old days, big fights were covered all the time by the mainstream sports media, not so much in recent years. And so that's always a barometer of whether it, really is as big as we think. As far as the actual matchup is concerned, when it was originally announced, I thought they were going to have a hard sell in convincing people that Crawford could come up 2 weight classes and take on a 168-pounder because he already moved up.
Most people agree that this matchup was not something that fans actively wanted, even though it will bring in a lot of people. Lots of people think that Canelo's bigger and heavier frame will make the fight more likely to happen, so everyone is interested in seeing if Crawford can solve these problems and pull off a historic win. If Crawford wins, it will be known as an amazing and thrilling event that changed the history of boxing's underdogs. But if Canelo wins the way most people think he will, the fight might be seen as boring or unavoidable. This point of view shows the tension between hope and expectation, with fans wanting an upset but being afraid of being let down by what seems like an inevitable result. The question is whether Crawford can beat the odds and show that skill can beat size.
Many tickets available for this fight because of that undercard. This promotion has been just, it's very interesting, man. Number one, there's no real reason for this fight to take place. Terence Crawford and Canelo. Nobody was asking for the fight. There's no natural connection between the two fighters. There's just two names that people think are on the top of a hypothetical list called the pound for pound list that many people act as if it's real. So they're two top pound for pound people, and they put them together and think this makes some big magic match. It may be a magic match once they get in the ring if Terrence Crawford can overcome Canelo Alvarez. It's got a real potential for that. But what happens if the fight winds up just being what more than likely it'll be, which is Terrence Crawford trying to get away from the bigger, stronger Canelo Alvarez? Because again, he's jumping so many weight classes. That's the gimmick. That jumping the weight class is the gimmick that is supposed to be attracting people to this fight. Gimmicks are not gonna pull it. And you can't tell me of the people. Now there's gonna be many people in the stadium. People go to the fight for sure. There are gonna be people out there for that event. But you can't tell me that that particular event with the fights that they have on that card is gonna be some memorable night of boxing other than maybe it taking place in the main event. You have people, many of these fighters are not from the United States. As I look from them, I mean, I would have to go out and see in the United States, how many fighters from the United States do they actually have, right?
People are amazed at how Terrence Crawford's body has changed at 175 pounds, which is a lot more than his normal weight. Detailed reports and pictures show that he is very muscular, has a bigger neck, and bigger shoulders, giving the impression of a fighter ready to fight a strong opponent like Canelo. Many people are relieved that Crawford is not undersized for the fight because of this change. Instead, he has built his body to handle the demands of a bigger weight class. He works out regularly, doing strength and conditioning programs that make him stronger while keeping his agility, which shows that he has taken this problem seriously. For fans, seeing Crawford get bigger but still sharp gives them hope that he will be able to counter Canelo's physical advantages while still providing the same technical brilliance that has made his career famous. The sight of Crawford, who is bigger, stronger, and scary, has started new arguments about whether size will really make the difference.
Terrence Bud Crawford is absolutely ripped, absolutely shredded. What looks to be about 175. Now he fights next Saturday, a week out from the fight. It's a week out from the weigh-in, so I'm sure that you look at Terrence Bud Crawford right there and you see he is absolutely shredded right there. And this is a week before the weigh-in, right? So I'm pretty sure he's probably weighing about 174, something of that magnitude, maybe about 173. 175 is probably the max he is at right now, because obviously the weight is at 168 and he's a week out. So he might be around 173, drop 5 pounds next Friday for the weigh-in, right? So Terrence Crawford, as I showed you guys, is training and putting a mass in his shoulders and in his legs. As you can see here, once again, right? He hasn't gained a lot of muscle mass except in his shoulders, okay? When you look at Terrence Crawford in previous fights, previous weigh-ins, his arms look pretty much the same. His neck and his shoulders is where you can see a clear difference from fights in the past, right? When you look at his midsection, his core, right? You can see the water weight, right? So right now, it's going to look like his midsection, his core is going to look bigger than what it actually is.
You can't ignore Canelo Alvarez's family history. He started working as a professional boxer when he was 15, and he has fought some of the biggest names in boxing for decades. Canelo has one of the strongest jabs in the sport, a rock-solid chin, and the ability to change strategies in the middle of a fight, while many other fighters may not have the technical basics they need. His image as a great fighter comes from winning fights in a number of weight classes and always being able to handle tough situations. Crawford thinks the hardest thing is talking to someone with such a long resume, because he is skilled, tough, and smart in the ring. Canelo is a tough opponent for any fighter, no matter what style they use.
Terence Crawford a guru in the ring? Absolutely. He is one of the best fighters ever created in humanity. But you cannot say that I'm going to come in with 5 pounds taped across my arms and legs and then go against Canelo Alvarez. He's not going against some dude who doesn't have counter punches, who doesn't have a ring IQ. Canelo's been fighting since 15 and is one of the few fighters who has taken literally less punishment than, say, Caleb Plant, who has like 25 fights. If you look at the amount of punishment that Caleb Plant has taken in his fights, Canelo has probably taken less punishment than that. And he's coming in hungry. And he's going to come in with 87 billion Mexicans in the ring walk, everybody flying flags. You don't know what Crawford's stage fight is going to be, coming in front of 70,000 people. Canelo's been there. He's going to put the shoes to Crawford.
That's all for the video today. Watch out. Until the next time.